Hey everyone, this is Will from Lifetime Productions Squared, and we're back to do a little bit more recording for tonight on the 10th Developer's Log for Space Crusade. This is the third one I've done today, but I'm just popping in really quick here to do a little bit of work. So I've been doing some work on the website, content every once in a while, and I want to get back into that because I stopped doing it due to being sick and then having to catch up on everything. So I wanted to show just a little bit of kind of what goes into the thought process and whatnot to go into actually working on the site, and also some of the code in the background here of the website so you can see it. Again, just a little thing to kind of show some insight into how things are done, not only in the actual game development, but also the related areas of work, even on the website. So I use Dreamweaver here, CS5. It's actually pretty good when it works. Specifically, I'm talking about this down here. There's some times when Dreamweaver will not work with the file manager down here. But anyway, so this is our the local files that we have. This is for the portfolio, though. We want to switch to the Space Crusade website. So here's kind of how things work. You have your folders, your file. Essentially, it's a representation of the folder that you have the website files in, and this is mirrored on our web server over at host. All you have to do is just go in and whatever you want to pull out, and you can do it. I'm going to show you the code for my that I used to put the media on the page, but I'm going to stop real quick recording without the password so you can't see it. Password for my MySQL database, because I don't want to get anybody hacking into it. So just give me a second here. All right, so this is a pretty simple script, really. We're using MySQL since we have that on on the server. They have them on HostGator. So essentially, we connect to it. If you can't connect to it, then we put up an error message. We create results, put it into an array, and the results are the results from the SQL query. So we essentially query the data from the database and order them by ID, descending, so that we have the latest entered media first. And I actually probably don't have to, what I do actually don't have to do that really, because what I do in the table is just put everything in reverse order. Actually, no, that's not. Send them back with JSON encode to our media page here, which is also in PHP. And so what happens is here we return it, set it to return media, which is a vector. This is all in JavaScript. Then we go through and replace the all the JSON or JSON return crap that gets added in the quotations, the brackets, commas. Replace all that with nothing, so that we just left with the bar delimited URLs, or rather watch URLs. Not even, it's the watch ID essentially, not even the URL. So we just split them along into RM along those bars, and then we just load and CSS. It actually took me about a day and a half to figure this out and get it working properly. That's how the media is loaded onto the media page. If you go over there. sc.games.com. So that's how the media gets loaded in here. Let's do that code. That's how that works. No. Now what I do with the About page, which is where we're going to do the work at right now, is we essentially have, and I'm probably going to think about moving these into their to external files like I do on my portfolio page. This was a precursor to that, just to see if I could get the data to load properly. But the way this works is we have JavaScript to go through the buttons, and so each section of data is encased in a class, and we use the buttons up on top of this JavaScript to either enable or disable them. And we also have some other kind of things like this double to and then I used something similar on another site I made during while I was going to University of Phoenix. That's where I got the idea from. This is a lot more extravagant than that, though. So this is where we have all the information right now. Again, like I said, I'm thinking about moving them out of this into their own files, just so that it's a little more clean looking. So what I do is essentially just go in here and I, decide what I want to work on, and then start writing about it. So what we're going to work on today is a piece about, it'll be in the events section, a piece about nuclear World War I Earth, essentially. And well, no, I'll write about what happens after the Bloody August event. The 100. And we need to enclose the text in a P paragraph with a class of text, so it gets the formatting and colors and whatnot. P class equals text. So now, going off of what we established here in the Bloody August entry here, which is talking about what happened on see, we're talking about the worldwide civil war, essentially, which is what the unification are about. So this is essentially about the one world government and that whole assassination thing that I mentioned in what's his name, Trishkanov's biography, I guess. Yeah, over here, this line here, essentially, this set up that whole section that I wrote about Bloody August. After the formation group went together and formed their own kind of terrorist group, and got their hands on a nuclear device and essentially blew up the parliament and one world government. Or WPOG, I guess is what I called it. And so that's what happened. You can read the entire thing on the website if you want. And this also followed on the heels of another thing that was kind of influenced by current events and some kind of creative license about nuclear World War I. That's actually a pretty large Earth, rather not an ancient Earth, book on history of ancient Earth. I believe that Tilana is part of the Telvari consortium. Somewhere around here, I've got that in here too. I did the Roman Empire. Let's see. So this is following on the heels of nuclear World War I and the forming of the one world government, and essentially it's about just a civil war, really. And we're going to talk about what's actually war. So Let's see, nations wanted answers as to who. So, let's see. I guess what we'll do is instead of referring to the countries, we'll talk about the nationalities, since the countries no longer really exist. So, actually, it's going to be just the Americans. I don't know. In the list, do you capitalize the if it's the first one? I think you do. Forgive me if I type that wrong, I'll fix it when I go. Because what I do is when I finish typing up one of these sections, I throw it into Word to spell check it. So 5, so... So that was in 2088 when that happened, I believe. Yeah, 2088. So we'll say in 2109. No, let's not go in that. Let's make it a little bit 05. So about, what would that be? 27-1. And by the Americas, I mean North and South America. That should be former Mexico. more easy to write about, stuff that has not happened yet rather than stuff that is, even though it's fiction or semi-fiction. That's the best type of fiction writing is fiction that has some truth. They would have pretty plausible that in this, the state of what's going on, that the borders would no longer be manned or anything, because it's a one-world government now. There's no need to have border fences and what have you, checkpoints, and through one country to another. Ireland. I don't know. I think that's Ireland, but we'll find out later on. I think that's right. I think the current Prince George would be the first King George if he became king. And we'll just kind of say that Britain changed their constitution so that men could become king. I think the current way it is that only the women can become queen. Keep on forgetting to say former. I think we'll only do it once, though. I think I did it multiple times up here, but we'll only say it once. Former, so that so the reader gets the idea that these countries no longer exist, but using the countries' names without force for from a expediency standpoint. In this case, we'll say former for both. Now, we don't have to say former because we're talking about Americans. And I have no clue if it worked or not. Coalesced into a global of the larger city or metropolises. I'm not even worrying about proper spelling right now. It's like, screw it. I'll get it later in Word. Actually, should probably do a new paragraph with that. That'd be better than saying former countries all over the time. Say nationalities. Because you still have the nationalities. As a matter of heritage. Let's see. Kind of indicative. And we can change that now, because that's obviously spelled wrong. And applied. Fairly lengthy section, but no more lengthy than some of these other ones. There wasn't really much to talk about, but that's kind of how things go. You just kind of start on a topic, and then I start on a specific time. That's not Irish. I don't think that's how you spell Irish. Spell check this thing. God, there's probably going to be so many errors. I can just see all the red lines. Yeah, I was gonna say the fascist element, kind of a great holding. What the hell? Great holdings. Jeez, overwhelmed. Those are pretty. If you talk, we're talking epic typos, like some typos that I had to try and correct like 7 times and still couldn't get it right. Let's see, the former fragmented sentence. That should have been thus far, not this. That was a typo. Having spent a large beginning is not correct. Latter, which is 2L, 2 T's. And that should be a comma there. No? Succumb. Separatists after compass. Compasses, compass. We are the Bork. Give us your pork. And are all spelled wrong. It's like, that's how I feel how many typos are in 90,000. Nuclear got misspelled twice. And there's what's supposed to be called list? Metropolis is... Maybe it should be Metropolis. New Germany, it should be around. Sometimes Word makes the stupidest suggestions. And it's usually always the grammar ones that do. Correct. What was created were. We're talking about two armies, but we're talking about a certain event. Separate sentences, but whatever. Irishman. Yeah. Well, I got it right except for the I. Or the A, I should say. The A was supposed to be an I. Patrick, I didn't even spell Patrick right. It's spelled That's called stratagem. It sounds better than strategy. And it means the same thing, but about the same thing, but sounds better, I think. Feigning, fiercest, separatist forces, plied. I, not Y, more separatists are misspelled, ratified. And after fixing all those freaking things, we're good. We paste. Is the fact that I'll right click on the whatever files I've updated over here and put. It'll send the file through FTP over to the website, update it, and then we can just go over here to About Game, Events, and then it should be in here. Bloody August, and there it is, Unification Wars. All done up in bluey, glowing wording goodness. You can see the I want this to be a more set, I don't know how you would describe it, set, grounded, backstoried universe than even Mass Effect or Lord of the Rings. I want this to be like on, well, I can't really think of an example, somewhere beyond where those two are at in terms of how rich the backstory is. Although one could say that Mass nowhere near Rings / The Hobbit, more living universe kind of games because of the backstory and how much it plays a part in the game. So that's how I update the website. It's really easy to go. Getting it set up and having it continue working though is the problem. Sometimes what will happen is that something will happen on HostGate. From Dreamweaver and ranting and more coding and more music. But that's going to be it for now. I'm not sure when I'll be recording next for the developers blog. It'll probably be for ones. Hope you enjoyed them. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below in the comment section. And as always, if you have not done so yet already, we'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel. and I will see you next time.